Let's go to our guardian ad litem for her report.
I was able to meet with the 3 younger children at their placement. We appeared virtually this time, but we were able to have a productive Zoom meeting. The children were playing outside and showing me all of their toys. The older 2 boys were, very excited to show me the wiffle balls and bats that they had been playing with. Apparently they are really into playing baseball, which is fun to hear about. There has been some in-home therapy provided for the minor children, which I think has been good for the oldest, especially. However, I think some disclosures have been made and some, he's been speaking about some traumas that have caused some maybe additional behaviors that the placement and the therapists have been working through. They are done with any sort of summer school right now, but they are doing very well there. The oldest is getting ready to enter into kindergarten in a couple of weeks, so I was very excited about going back to school. The middle child is, as always, smiling and happy. Again, excited that he's going to be also going to school as well. He doesn't have as many signs of trauma or behaviors. It's mainly the oldest there, but and then the youngest child, the daughter, she's doing very well. She's trying to keep up with her brothers and growing really quickly. She's meeting all her milestones. She's very comfortable with her placement. All 3 children are very bonded to the placement, especially the aunt in the household. She's, I think, the primary caretaker of the children, but all of their needs are being met, and I would recommend that they remain in that placement pending further order. The oldest child, who is placed with non-respondent mom, I do have concerns with his placement. There is a case open in another county with that mom and the children. However, I'm concerned that his mental health and some physical health issues that are established are not being addressed in his current placement. I also have concerns with whether the utilities are working in the household, and some other concerns with respect to how discipline is handled in the house. I am uncertain whether his current placement or his non-respondent parent is in his best interest, and I'm actively exploring potential next steps in that case for him. So I can't say that where he's currently staying would be in his best interest, but I also don't believe that there is currently any alternative placements or options at this time in the immediate future.
Okay, thank you. Testimony this morning, Ms. Thomas.
Thank you, and I'll ask Ms. Beach to be sworn in.
Your Honor, I'd like to make something clear for the record and for the edification of my client. Right now, I guess what we're talking about is not the case that we've been on here for a year or so.
Yes, it's all of the kids.
It's all, but also an additional case involving children with a different mother. Right.
They have been part of the case since the beginning. It's just that that mom has been a non-respondent and is still a non-respondent at this point.
All right.
The issues there.
Mr. King, no interruptions.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do. All right, Ms. Thomas, whenever you're ready.
Ms. Beach, you've prepared or been part of preparing 2 court reports that were submitted for today's hearing, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and there are several attachments in both of them. So I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page as it relates to the report that was submitted on August 4th. In addition to the court report and the case service plan, there is a police report relating to Mr. King and Miss Miller. The medical documentation for some imaging by Mr. King was provided to you. There are safety plans related to the oldest child in the file, and then a prevention plan related to that child's
The judge set the tone early. One sharp warning lays down the law before things even begin.
Mother's household. And then the DHS 69 noting a caseworker change from Miss Madrid to Miss Latour. Is that correct?
The only correction I would have is that the safety plan is for the oldest child shared by both parents and the relative
Okay.
caregiver placement.
Okay.
But the rest is correct.
And then for the report that was submitted, or the additional document submitted at the end of last week, I believe on the 7th or 8th, that police report is related to the non-respondent mother of the oldest child in the file, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and then there's some follow-up emails regarding ICWA documentation and searches, and then an additional search for or submission to the Seneca tribes. An IE, okay, an IEP report for the middle, is that the middle child?
Yes, the middle of
Of
the
the
3 younger.
3, okay. And then the youngest child's early on assessments and IFSP reports, correct?
Correct.
Okay. To either of those court packets, are there any updates or modifications that need to be made to your knowledge?
I have one update to provide on an email that I sent to the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians. I did receive an email this morning, right before I came, that they had sent the letters back in January, but they sent them to Hillsdale DHHS, which is why we never got a copy. So she is going to be sending me all 4 letters as soon as possible, and I will file with them with the court before our next hearing.
Thank you so much for that. And to the best of your knowledge, do those letters indicate whether there's any eligibility for enrollment in the Cherokee tribe?
They do not indicate any eligibility.
Okay, thank you. Okay, during this review period, how would you describe Mr. King's level of compliance with and benefit from his case service plan?
I would say there has been minimal to very minimal compliance with his case service plan. We still have concerns about his overall stability. He has not been consistently engaged in individual counseling, and the sessions he has attended have been via phone. I spoke with a therapist last week, and she is concerned that he has attended some sessions but doesn't really feel the need to be in therapy. He's just doing the sessions because of this case. And it's also been recommended by his therapist and his psychological evaluation that he participate in a psychiatric assessment, and he has not done so to date. Domestic violence continues to be a concern based on the incident that happened on May 31st, where he had allegedly followed Miss Miller while she was driving her vehicle and he was in his, and then he approached her vehicle. And then there have been reports that he has continued to attempt contact with Miss Miller and seek her out when he has seen her out in public. There's also, related to the incident that occurred on May 31st, there was a warrant for his arrest, and I believe he's still facing charges of domestic violence third offense, which are pending, but he was arrested then on July 9th and at the Lenawee County Jail until July 22nd. We also have concerns about housing and employment. Those things have been, we either haven't gotten information about employment throughout this case, or he hasn't been employed. He did just provide proof of disability benefits this morning, but reported that a significant amount of that is being taken out for back child support. So I'm not sure when that child support was supposed to be paid, but I will look into that as well. But overall, we have concerns about his unmet mental health needs and just overall instability. We are still working, he's reported some health concerns throughout the case, and just provided some paperwork this reporting period for some imaging that he had done at a surgery center in Warren, Michigan. So I did get a release sign from him this morning, so I can reach out and get a better understanding of what the results that he provided mean, and what treatment looks like for him going forward in that regard.
Has Mr. King been in regular contact with the agency?
Yes, yeah, he communicates via phone and email.
Have you had any concerns or issues with getting him to sign appropriate releases?
Not usually. Once they're explained, then he will sign. So that hasn't been an issue.
Okay. If the report indicates that he is still not receiving parenting time, and I know your report articulates this very well, but can you just highlight the concerns surrounding parenting time and the risk of harm that would be posed to the children if the court were to order parenting time that be reinstated?
Yes, so parenting time was suspended back on December 20th of 2024. There was a visit that had occurred prior to that hearing where Mr. King was just really accusatory during the visit towards our staff. He was recording, he was talking about the time he had spent in jail from a domestic violence incident with Ms. Miller in front of his children. He was not able to be redirected. He had also made allegations against one of our staff members. We were already providing secondary supervision as an extra layer of protection. And then we also had concerns about the children's behavior following parenting time visits. The relative caregivers were reporting an increase in aggression and toileting accidents, and it was like they were being re-traumatized by parenting time. Then Mr. King did his psychological evaluation on January 24th of this year, and that evaluation recommended that he maintain a period of 6 months of stability and participation in services and follow the recommendations from his assessment. He has not demonstrated that thus far. He also met with Brene Moore for a parenting time assessment, and she did not feel that he was safe to be engaging in parenting time at the time of that assessment either. So that is why parenting time has been suspended since December.
Have any service providers working with the children indicated that they are suffering from the lack of parenting time?
No.
As it relates to the children, are there any, I know this is kind of abnormal because we also get to talk about these kiddos within mom's hearings, but are there any updates that you'd like the court to know about for the kids?
I would just like to verbally give a little update on each. The oldest, DK, continues to be placed with his non-respondent mother, and we do continue to have concerns about that placement. There were several CPS complaints made during the last reporting period, and they were documented within the previous court report that resulted in CPS investigations and a CPS ongoing case being opened. So she has been receiving CPS ongoing services since sometime in May. She did complete Families First, which was just about 1 month long, and that was completed mid-June. And she did appear to make some progress, and home visits have been going better than they were previously. But she has not followed through with another referral for an in-home program. It's Families Together Building Solutions. She did not return contact, and that program closed. And then she still has not gotten DK into mental health services as recommended. He was having suicidal ideations in April and was seen for an intake at Lifeways. And then she did not follow through or return contact, so he was dropped. So he needs to be seen for another intake, and that has not been done at this time. And then in addition, she has had some recent arrests or close calls. So we do have concerns about that placement, and we are working with the ongoing CPS worker to see how we can assist with getting some more stability in the home and making sure that his needs are met. LK, during this reporting period, did disclose some allegations during a therapy session, and those allegations.
This is the moment both sides show their cards and push hard.
Are being investigated by CPS. But since those disclosures, the placement has reported an increase in aggression and rage. She says that he will like flip a switch and like flip a table.
This is
At
I'm
points.
sorry for the interruption. Is this the older or the middle?
The older, okay, thank you. And then she's also reported concerns with sexual behaviors he's perpetrated towards the younger LK. So bedrooms have been changed around. We put safety plans into place. He's continuing to engage in individual counseling, and I think they're looking at increasing that. And then the family has been engaged in wraparound services. And the wraparound worker reports that they've been very engaged and consistent, and that there's a lot of love in the home, and that the caregiver is committed to putting whatever safeguards need to be put into place to make sure that all children are safe. So the caregiver is also learning new skills to parent him and meet his needs. So that service is definitely being taken advantage of. As far as the younger LK, he's doing very well. He does have a speech delay and has an IEP in place to help him with that delay. And then he will be doing Head Start, I think, again, or GSRP in the fall. And then NK also has an IFSP in place for speech delay and is receiving early on services, but overall she's doing well too.
Sorry, I just want to go through the attachments to make sure there's nothing else to kind of discuss here. Has Mr. King, to the best of your knowledge, engaged in any additional treatment related to domestic violence or relationship issues?
Not to my knowledge. I know that he has previously, but not during this case.
Okay. Is there anything else that you'd like the court to know about at this time?
I don't believe so.
As relates to the oldest child in the file, in prior hearings, there have been some concerns about the lack of responsiveness from that mother, the non-respondent mother. You indicated in your testimony that home visits have been better. Can you just articulate how they've been better?
I think less chaotic is maybe the best word to describe it. She has been easier to engage with than she had been prior to the CPS ongoing case getting initiated. That's really the only way I can describe it.
Has she continued to engage with and be responsive to the agency on a regular basis?
There have been times where she hasn't returned contact, usually when we call her, even if it has to be multiple times, we will get her on the phone. But she also has the ongoing worker who makes regular contact with her. So if we have any issues, we usually reach out to the ongoing worker and ask for assistance, or when the last time she talked to her was. So although it can be a concern, we are usually able to get in touch with her.
All right, and the report indicates that Ms. Adney is still against the her shared child with Mr. King visiting with his younger siblings. Has there been any movement or progress on that point?
So not as far as Ms. Adney goes. I don't know that we've been able to talk about specifically that with her. I'm not sure how the caregiver of the younger 3 children would feel, or how we would feel about it based on allegations being made about the oldest child by the older LK. So if we were looking at initiating sibling visits, it may have to be done in a therapeutic manner, or we'd have to seek some guidance from the service providers involved with the older LK.
And have the service providers brought that up at all in either way, like that the children need to see one another, that sibling relationship was one of resilience and a benefit to them?
They've not.
Okay, thank you. With that, Your Honor, I have no further questions of Ms. Beach and would ask the court to accept the court reports with the understanding that fellow counsel can object to the late submitted documents and or question about them at the next hearing.
Objection.
No, I have no objection.
Okay.
Thank you, they are received. Questions for this witness, Mr. Brooks?
Now, there are two families really involved here, right? The two mothers, maybe that's a better way to say it.
Correct,
Same father
correct.
for all of the kids.
Yes,
How many kids are
there are 4,
there total?
yes, involved in this case.
How many exist?
Well, DK's mother has 5 other children, but they're not,
They're not
Under-
his?
no,
So there are one child in one family and 4 children with the other family?
the oldest child is Mr. King and Miss Adney's, and then the 3 younger children are Mr. King and Miss Miller's.
4 children total.
Correct,
Okay. Do you agree with me that Mr. King is looking into the root causes of his mental issues with professional assistance?
he has not been agreeable to a psychiatric evaluation, which would focus more on mental health, but he has been attempting to figure out medical issues.
Right. That's where this business with the doctors in Warren, Michigan come into play?
Correct.
That's all. Thank you.
Okay, questions, Ms. Berger?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Underwood?
No questions. Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. May I return to your seats? Unless you had any redirect, Ms. Thomas?
No, Your Honor, I do not.
Any other witness testimony today?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Brooks?
You want to testify? Is that a yes?
Yes.
My client would like to testify.
All right, Mr. King, come on up for a witness stand.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Mr. Brooks?
Sir, you are apparently out on bail right now. Is that correct?
Correct.
And what is the charge?
Unfortunately, it was allegations.
Pardon me?
There were false allegations, and I got an email for it.
What are you charged with?
They're trying to say third domestic felony,
And where is this, what is the status of that case?
pushed out to September 19th, and I just hired David Goldstein.
All right. And who is that, again, who is that involving?
They're alleging Kirsten
Last name?
Miller.
Pardon?
Miller,
Yeah, you have to speak up there a little bit.
sorry.
All right. Now, you've said you want to testify here this morning. What is it you want the court to know?
The allegations about the kids, like you said, are from the fire to the frying pan. I had talked to WEAC about a house, and they approved it. They would approve more if I had got approval of the kids.
When's the last time you saw him?
December, after the 17th, I believe, when Leslie ripped up on Lincoln, and I told her she should have autism training, and she didn't like it, so I started recording after that. When she slammed.
December of what year?
2024.
Since then, you've had no contact.
Right,
Do you want
I
contact?
love it.
If we could get you supervised visitation, would you like that?
With a camera, yes. in the room, yes, I will.
What do you mean with the camera?
Well, because I'm being accused of being accusatory when there was actions involved that a department, entity that took them. She shouldn't have ripped up on Lincoln the way she did. And slammed the gate against him like she did. I'm sure if you ask Lincoln, he'd tell you whether he's 7 years old or not.
Now, with respect to your mental issues, you are actively engaged in trying to get to the root cause of this issue, right?
Correct. Mohammed Elderani would write you a letter after I talked to Narker in Dearborn.
And what have you been told that they suspect is the issue?
A possible mass.
In your,
Two
where?
on the center frontal lobe has one on each side and then one in the center.
And based on your conversations with this physician, what do they think should be done about that?
He wanted to wait a year, but we're gonna talk on the 19th of this month.
To do what?
Don't know yet until he got back. He'd been gone for 2 months, like I told.
Well, yeah, but I'm asking the question, what does he think he wants to do?
I don't know until I talk to him.
All right. Does this doctor believe there's any causal relationship between what you have testified here before are your mental issues and the presence of these masses on your brain?
No other, the injury might be from the car wreck in 2022.
But I mean, does he think these masses may have had an effect on your personality and your perceived mental problems?
Disorders or so, yes.
Caseworker said you haven't done a psychiatric evaluation. That being the case, the first question I'd ask is, why is that not happening?
Me and Dr. Elderani were gonna talk about it and go from there, because that's what the doctor had just said, but he wasn't in to talk to me, and then he got to talk to me, so he's gonna discuss that after the 19th.
Who's Dr. Elderani?
Evidence drops and the courtroom shifts fast. The balance of the case changes right before everyone's eyes.
Main primary doctor in Dearborn.
Have you talked to any psychiatrists?
No, not yet, I said.
Have you been actively avoiding that, or?
No, I did my parenting classes and all the crap with my brain after the 15th of May. It's been hard.
But not through a psychiatrist.
No, I haven't had a vehicle for a while either.
Were you given an appointment to see a psychiatrist?
That I cannot remember.
I can't hear you.
I cannot remember.
Where do you live?
Couch to couch at the moment.
Sorry, again?
Couch to couch at the moment.
What general area of the county?
Trying to facilitate that.
Well, I mean, do you live in Adrian?
I don't want to post it on YouTube. How about that?
I'm not asking for an address. I'm just asking for a general area.
Between Ohio and the tri-state area.
Between Ohio and the tri-state area.
Yeah, till my mom wants me to do some things. So.
All right. And that's as specific as you want to get. All right. Is there anything else you want the court to know?
They said I had talked to her in the courtroom,
Who?
out in the hallway.
Who?
Ashley Beach,
All right.
and she knows about. I had a recording of it.
Well, what about it?
Some of the things she said up here are different.
Is there anything more specific you want to bring up about that?
Yeah,
What?
She said they're gonna check on my brain or on the doctor, and they didn't know about it yet.
Well, neither do we, do we?
No,
What else?
about the kids.
What about the kids?
I hadn't been told anything about it.
What specifically are you referring to?
Anything about Lincoln and Junior?
Oh. Yeah, have you asked?
Well, I just got a report, and that was it. 2 days ago, 3 days ago.
Did you want additional information from Ms. Beach?
Would be nice other than just a report right before court, wouldn't it?
All right.
With the violations already in place.
Is there anything else you'd like the court to know?
If they were to try to terminate my rights, there's ICWA rights they'd be violating. Because there is knowledge of my brother's doing over my mother and my great grandmother, Maud B. Smith, being Indian. Us belonging to Viking blood, Bear Jenkins.
Vikings are not Indians.
Right, but it's still historical bloodline. Correct?
Not under federal law, Viking is just Northern European.
It's under.
A lot of people in this room have Northern European ancestors.
Right, it's under federal law.
Are you claiming that you have Native American heritage?
Right, yes.
And what is the Native American tribe?
I've said, and she said no, but they haven't said anything, but if my brother would allow the information, he's the through that how we would know.
Is it something other than being quote unquote Viking?
Seneca Indian,
Seneca
sure.
Indian.
and Jeff Jones said it was a Cherokee Indian for sure. And as well as Eugene.
Are you asking the department to check into whether or not you have a formal affiliation with the Seneca band?
I'd ask them to check more formally, and obviously if I'm saying it up here, it's true, because I've talked to my brother about it. For me, and he got it from ancestry.com. Sent his bloodline in, obviously. So that's how I found out who his father was. And if he liked, my mother's right there.
Is there anything else you'd like this court to know? Well, obviously you object to the fact that you don't have your kids, right?
Right. And it's been informal to them not to help me over the housing way before we ever got homeless because of my issues. And it's informal to just take her and terminate a right if they wanted. You know, because of those issues. I mean, it'd be upheld in Supreme Court justice, I guarantee it.
You and I have explained the legal formalities involved with this, right?
A little bit.
Yeah. I have nothing further unless there's something more you want to tell the court.
I have had the parenting classes up about until May.
Then what happened?
All the issue after the 15th with the diagnosis of the brain, it's been kind of hard.
When did you go to jail?
Oh, July 9th.
When was the incident that involved you being sent to jail?
With the contact had done from her wanting to see me
What month?
in May.
Okay. I have nothing further.
Questions for this witness, Ms. Thomas?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Mr. King, did you happen to Google or try to find out what your diagnoses were based on your MRI?
No, that'd be because you guys tried to tell me I had Munchausen syndrome.
Okay. So you're not quite sure what a posterior fossa arachnoid cyst is?
It's a centerline mass is what they were trying to say.
Okay. And then as it relates
I got
to,
emails from it.
okay, just wonder, like, just making sure that you had followed up with your care provider about it.
Correct.
Okay. And then you mentioned that you do not have transportation.
I just got it back recently.
How
I
long
had
were you without a vehicle?
About, well, I went to jail, 13 days, obviously. I don't want to discuss everything on YouTube. Not
How long
about
were you
that.
without a vehicle?
For about a month. I had to jump through hoops to get there.
Who posted your bond?
Friend of mine that owns a business.
Online indicates that your bond was $10,000. Your friend posted $10,000 for you.
A bonding company that.
Okay. When you were in jail, were there any issues with your behavior or your mental health?
They were trying to say a lot of kids were screwing with me about other cases that didn't involve me. Guys that they were saying they were running the road for Chuck, and I didn't approve of it because Chucky don't have nothing to do with me.
And you have not completed
Doctor.
a psychiatric appointment at all? A psychiatric
A
evaluation?
doctor, no, not out here yet, but a doctor from Ingham County that had a stroke tried to tell me there was nothing or something wrong with me when there was clearly something wrong with him because his face was drooping.
Okay. I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Any questions, Ms. Berger? No, Your Honor. Ms. Underwood?
Mr. King, you indicated you hired an attorney for your criminal case. Is that correct? Okay. How were you able to come up with the funds for an attorney for that?
I'm going to have checked on the grounds it's irrelevant to anything we're dealing with.
I would say it's relevant in the fact establishing whether he's been able to provide any necessities for the children throughout this case.
Yes, one of the issues in the case services plan is stabilization of housing, income, production. So questions about funding, attorney, well, and even fees that may be due to the public defender's office based on your representation, Mr. Brooks. These are all certainly relevant concerns, so I'm going to overrule the objection. So, did you need the question repeated, Mr. King, or are you prepared to answer?
Yes, I did.
How were you able to pay for David Goldstein as your attorney in the criminal case? Sorry?
It's anonymous. You guys are taking money that shouldn't be out of another case upstairs. Obviously, you're paying to have my kids $1,300 or whatever it is a month per kid, but you wouldn't provide when I was sick or prior to being sick for 8 years along this whole case.
So you're stating you're not willing to disclose how your attorney was retained?
Well, somewhat of it, isn't it, the way to pay it back is there's gonna be more funds coming.
So again, I'm going to ask you a question one last time. Who funded your private attorney for your criminal case?
Why is that your concern?
Judge, I would direct the court to require to answer the question.
Mr. King, please answer the question. It is relevant. The court's already determined that it's relevant. Please answer the question.
Just, it ain't all been paid for, yeah. But it has been down payment.
Who paid the down payment?
I did.
Have you provided any clothing, food, funds, or anything for your children since they entered into care?
Kind of hard on $445 a month, and the state took $2,700 back payment right away.
That you're able to pay for an attorney?
They've been, what, they give me $185 back.